Psychology of holding trades is what makes or breaks a trader. And you can have the perfect entry out there, but if your exit isn't clear, then you will never make it in the trading space. And I was the living example of this. I was always obsessing over the perfect entry, but then when it came down to exits, I always messed up. And in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 things that I changed in order to go from unprofitable to profitable. As you guys know, I currently moved from Dubai to Zurich, but in this video we're going to my hometown, Amsterdam as well, because I have a couple of meetings there while I'm explaining all of these points. So it's time to pick up the camera myself today and let's go. And if you're not subscribed yet, do it now. Let's go.
Sunny.
Of course guys, I can't come home without taking some chocolate for all of my friends.
Rain. Sunny. You smiled at me and really eased the pain. Now the dark days are done and the bright
Vincent's here. Jos is here.
My sunny one shines so sincere. Sunny one so true. I love you.
So, we just arrived in the hotel, the Okura in Amsterdam. This is one of my favorite hotels where I always go to. And let me explain to you point number 1. Because this is the point that a lot of people miss in the beginning in trading. And I was a big part of this as well. Now, what is the problem? The problem is that biologically, we are not meant to take profits in the way how we do it in trading. We are used to, okay, we get something in our hands and now we want to keep it. And this is the biggest problem with trading. The moment when people already have a little bit of profit, they see it as I didn't have this before, so now I need to keep it. And I had the exact same thing. I had the perfect strategy when it came down to entries, but every single time when I was just a little bit in profit, I saw the money as okay, I didn't have this before, so now I want to take it off the table. And this is something, again, it's in us as people. So what is the first thing that you need to get in place? You need to get in place a strategy where you don't lack this anymore. Where you basically can say, okay, this is a predefined point. So a point that I told myself before that I'm going to take profit here, instead of listening to our gut. Because number 1 is understanding that your gut feeling is always wrong when it comes down to taking profit. So in the upcoming points, I'm going to explain to you more about this and how you can defend yourself from this. One of the biggest reasons why I always pick this hotel is because, listen, this is one of the only hotels in Amsterdam where you have the full view of Amsterdam. Now, when I was younger and when I didn't have any money, I was always in the neighborhood right there. And I always looked at this hotel thinking, how rich must they be when they can literally sleep there? And now, every time when I come back, I just want to sleep here because I know that there was a little boy once who said, hey, I want to sleep there. But let's grab a coffee and then we'll go to point number 2. Now let's head into point number 2. And point number 2 is the exact opposite of point number 1. How at point number 1 we were talking about the importance of knowing your take profit levels, we have the exact same thing for knowing your stop. Because for a lot of people, and especially me in the beginning as well, I was willing to lose more than win. What do I mean with this? And this is a very common thing in trading. A lot of people, they are super obsessed about, yeah, but I need to have the perfect risk to reward. But what do? When they are in the trade, they are going to mess up with the take profit. What messes up the entire idea of risk to reward. Same goes for your stop and for your take profit level. So again, you can have the perfect entry out there, but if your exits aren't clear, then you won't be able to make a lot of money. Now let me quickly grab a sandwich since we're in Amsterdam, and then we're heading to point number 3. Hey guys, the sandwich place was closed, so we are going to enjoy the weather. Vincent's here, Jos is here, so we're going for a quick dinner, and then tomorrow we are going to point number 3. But now we're going to one of my favorite places, Nela, and then tomorrow we will continue. Let's go. Yesterday night was a later evening than expected, so let's get some breakfast now, an Amsterdam breakfast. This means we're going to get a sandwich, okay, and then I'm going to explain point 3. But just look at how amazing the view is here. Wow, beautiful. So guys, point number 3, how to set a target and actually will be able to trust it. Listen, we will explain this with a beautiful Amsterdam breakfast, sandwich and orange juice, okay? Listen up, one of the key things that I made the changes in was, instead of saying my gut is going to do the work, I said I need to have the right system in place. In the beginning, I was just trading Fibonacci's, okay? And again, that was perfect for my entries. But I didn't take the system as serious when it came down to taking profit. So what did I do? I said, okay, which system do I see that works the best when it comes down to taking profits? And this is when I found out about ranges, okay? What is ranges? It's basically horizontal support and resistance levels that gives you every single target that you need to learn, okay? So when you're looking at, for example, my Instagram, where I currently have more than 150,000 followers on, okay? I have a highlight game. And every single time when I took a trade, I shared it on my Instagram live. And you saw that every single time when I took profit, it was a pinpoint profit. Meaning that every single time when it hit it, the market went into reverse, okay? Now, a lot of people always ask me, how are you able to make these kind of pinpoint moves? It's simply, one, because I don't base anything on my gut, and two, I base everything on ranges. Now, if you want to know what ranges are, after this video, make sure that you go to the link below where it says free school, and I literally have an entire explanation there about how you can make ranges, and even if you don't know how trading actually works, how to start with trading itself. It's all for free, no sign-ups, nothing. Check that one out, okay? Now we're quickly going to Lord Piana, see if they have something, and then we will go to point number 4. But let me first enjoy this one. So guys, the problem was the triple stitch, they were a bit dirty. I bought them in the last vlog, last week. So we got a new one, a fresh one. So let's head into point number 4. And point number 4 is one of the things that people don't pay enough attention for. And this is the journaling of the actual trades itself. And journaling, I don't do this like other people do this. Other people are, okay, and what's the entry and what's the exit? And they just journal that. But they miss one of the most important parts about journaling. If you want to understand trading, you need to understand that around 80% of trading is emotions and 20% is knowledge. And what people still do is they just journal the 20% instead of the 80%. When you look at your journaling, one of the key things that you need to do is constantly see, okay, how did I feel when I entered a trade? What kind of emotion was there involved in there? What kind of emotion was there while I was inside of the trade? Did I want to take it out early? Did I want to keep it in? What was the emotion at that moment? And try to understand that emotion. The moment I took that more seriously was the moment when it went hard for me. Because that was the moment when I could say, hey, I know that inside of my range, this is the area where I get emotional. This is the area where I get emotional. So these are the moments when I basically need to shut down the laptop and just listen to the range itself. Again, this comes down to get everything out of the trade instead of just taking a trade and then go on to the next one. No, every single trade can be a lesson, but you just need to extract a lesson from it. So what do? I go into the trade, I exit the trade, and then after that I'm going to see what were my emotions. Because the moment before you enter a trade is the last moment when you can think objectively about a trade with no emotion, okay? All of the moments in there will be the most emotional you've ever been. Alright, now I quickly have to do a podcast because that's one of the reasons why I'm here. So I'm going to do that one now, and then we're heading into the last point. So make sure that if you keep watching, guys, just look at the amazing view in Amsterdam. It's beautiful. Alright guys, so I just arrived home from the podcast. It was a pretty good one, and the funny thing is they asked a question that was related to point number 5, and that's the last point. And that was regarding my alcohol usage. They said, why don't you drink alcohol? I said I stopped drinking alcohol the moment I made some serious money. And the reason for this is because for me, I just had one thing, and that is when I'm looking at trading, emotion is everything, and you need to learn that skill of emotion, and you need to learn the skill of patience. And this was the thing that I told myself as well. I said, hey, when I'm looking at patience in trading, it doesn't really look like a personality trait, because the majority of the traders who I met, they were not the most patient guys. They were very fast paced. And then I realized it's more of a skill. rather than just the personality trait itself. And this is something I had to train myself as well. And this is something that you need to understand if you want to make profits in this space, is that it's something that you have to train. And the only way to actually obtain this skill is by just doing it a lot. So for example, when we're currently looking at the markets, I publicly made these trades. Okay, so I traded the markets from 123k BTC all the way towards 65.5. As you can see, that's more than a 46% move down. That's pretty big. Again, I did it all publicly. Just fact check it on my Instagram. Exactly the same for this one. I mentioned, hey, I'm going to stop selling here and I'm going to start buying at 65.5. From there, we went up pretty heavily. Now, this doesn't seem very long, but what I want you to understand is that that period itself is more than a 118-day period. That's quite some. So you need quite some patience for this. Again, in the beginning, I wasn't the most patient trader out there. And I always thought, okay, I'm never going to make it because I'm not patient. I threw away my keyboards, I threw away my mouses because I always thought, okay, this is not the game for me. Until I realized it's a skill that you need to train. So guys, right now I'm going to make myself ready to go back to Zurich again. It was a very quick stop here. So it was enough for today. I hope that you liked the video. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, that you go to the free school in order to understand what ranges are, and that I see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.